Good afternoon, everyone. So today we will take a revision of our lesson number 4, Historiography Development in the West. Which are the points it will include? It will include tradition of historiography, modern historiography, development of scientific perspective in Europe and historiography, and the notable scholars, the scholars who gave their contribution to this. Is that clear to everyone? So let us move to our first, that is introduction. Okay. Now we already know that history is something which has account of whatever the things happened in the past. So we have to do a collection of all these things, then we have to analyze it, and according to that we come to the conclusion that which kind of thing is belong or from which time it belongs. So it is, we can say the connectivity and the interrelation is continuous process. Okay. Now my first question, in the physical and natural science, the dash method is used verify the available knowledge. Yes, empirical method. Very good. Riya, Manasvi, Shruti. Very good. It is empirical method. Empirical method means a method which can be done in the laboratory. It will have experiment and observation, and according to that we have to do the, we have to reach the conclusion. Okay. Now, what is the use of this method? When we use empirical method, it helps to formulate rules, okay, and and whatever the laws as per the observation, as per the experiment we have done. These all things you do in the science. Okay. Now tell me, this method, this laboratory experiment and observation method is possible to the historical research? No, it is not possible. So my next question is, in historical research, it may not be possible to use the method of laboratory experiments observation. Now give reason. I want some student to raise their hand, otherwise I'll choose. Okay, Diksha want to give the answer. Diksha, I allow you to unmute, beta. Just speak out. Diksha, are you there? I think there is some network issue with Diksha. Let us move to the Neeraj. Till that, Neeraj, just unmute yourself, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this is so because we were not present in that historical time, and the historical things or the historical events cannot be recreated.
Okay, but if you are going to write this much answer in exam, so it will not be okay. You have tried well, but you have to elaborate more. Okay. Now I want some other students who have raised their hand. Where they gone? Just raise your hand so I can allow you to unmute, beta. Yeah, it is good, Neeraj. You have tried good, but it need to be more modified. Okay, let us see others answer. Yes, start, Diksha, with your answer. Diksha, I allowed you to unmute, beta. Okay, Khushi, unmute yourself, beta.
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Teacher, in laboratory experiments, that things are done in practical, and all these things can be recreated. In laboratory experiment, we perform various types of research and experiments, and those experiments can be reperformed. But in historical research method, historical movements cannot be recreated since they occur only once. There are various events which we cannot recreate because they are historical movements. That's the reason they are called as historical research method. Whereas in laboratory experiments, those research and experiments can be recreated with the help of new modern technology as well as using the previous knowledge and aspects. So because of that, it is said that in historical research method, it is not possible that we could use laboratory experiments, because if we were to use laboratory experiments, it wouldn't have been historical research method, because then it won't line past, then it can be created as well, so it won't line past. That's the reason it is said that in historical research method it is not possible to use laboratory experiments since the events cannot be recreated.
Okay, Khushi, good beta. But what you have done, you have repeated the sentence again and again. Okay, your answer was also good. Now, anybody else want to give the answer? So otherwise, I'll go to the conclusion. Or wait, I'll make you to speak up. Okay, Hiral. Hiral, beta, just unmute yourself and
Yes, teacher.
just answer the question.
Teacher, since the historical events and the things are in the happened in the past, so we can't recreate it. And in the laboratory experiment, the things can be repeated and can be seen how it occurs. So that's why we cannot recreate the historical events, and that's why it is said that historical research method. And
Okay, so let us move to the answer. Now, in historical research, it may not be possible to use the method of laboratory experiment and observation because the things happened in the past, it cannot be recreated. The things, it cannot be recreated in the present, and we cannot go in the past to check it out. Okay, because there is a limit of time and space. But, and as it is not possible to go back and to formulate the laws, so it is not possible to do laboratory experiment and observation in relation with historical research. Is that clear? The two main points. The first, that we cannot recreate the thing in a present because it is related to past. We cannot recreate the dinosaur alive in present, okay, and do research, okay. In the same way, we cannot go back in the time of the dinosaur and do the research. But so whatever the things we get, according to that, we have to make the theory and understand the thing. Okay. Now, which are the criteria to examine the authenticity of the document? We have already discussed there are different documents are there. So we have to go through the which criteria. Okay, Diksha, I want you to unmute beta again and then. Yes,
can you hear me now?
You are audible now.
Yes, teacher. As to begin with the research, we need an expert who knows the language and script of the historical document, as in order to read it and understand its meaning. The expert has the power to examine the authenticity of the document by using the various criteria, such as the lettering style written by the author's style of writing, and manufacturing the date and types of letter. Also, we can examine through the stamps of authority, etc. Such a document which is examined further, we can scrutinize, means we can inspect it by a historian with the help of the relevant historical references.
Very good, beta. Now I want Yashasvi to give the answer. Yes, Yashasvi, I allow you to unmute, beta. Unmute yourself. Yashasvi, are you there? Okay. Shruti. Shruti Agaj, 9th B. Just answer, beta. You also raise your hand.
Yes, ma'am. The following are the criteria to examine the authenticity of the document: lettering style, manufacturing date, type of the paper used, stamps and signature of the authority, and writer's style of writing. Using this criteria, one can understand and examine the authenticity. Later, the document which is examined is further scrutinized by the historian with the help of historical references.
Okay, very good. Om Mandavekar. I'll allow you to unmute, beta. Unmute yourself and speak out the answer for the question asked. Om, unmute yourself, beta, and speak out. Anybody else want to give the answer for the question? Okay. Yes, you said very well answered, Rita. That the criteria, the important criteria examine the authenticity of the document is lettering style, author style of writing, manufacturing date, type of paper, stamps, and authority. These are the important. Now, there are different methods of various disciplines are useful in historical research. For example, archaeology, archival science, manuscriptology, epigraphy, it deals with the study of inscription, and manuscriptology deals with the study of manuscripts. Then analysis of lettering style, linguistic, numismatics, then genealogy. These are the different such disciplines which helps to understand the historical research or do the historical research in a good and well manner. Okay, now let us discuss this first point. It was the introduction which we have about the lesson. Let us move to the first top point, that is tradition of historiography. Okay, what do you mean by historiography? Yes, Arya raised the hand first. Very good, Arya. Yes, speak out, beta.
Teacher, am I audible?
Yeah, beta.
The historical research method of critically examining the historical sources and writing historical narratives is called as historiography.
Very good, beta. Yes. Continue, beta.
This traditional mean is looked upon as a source.
I think Arya has disconnected. Let us, Bhumi, just speak out, beta. I allow you to unmute. Bhumi Prajapati.
Am I audible?
Yeah, beta. Continue.
Writing of historical narrative after critically examining the historical sources is known as historiography.
Very good. Very nice. Diksha.
Yes, teacher.
हाँ, continue with it.
As we know that the historical research method is the critically examining the available historical sources and writing its historical narrative. This writing of critically historical narrative is known as the historiography.
Okay. Now I want someone else to answer. That is Pragati. Pragati, please unmute yourself. At least you try. Pragati, come on, beta.
When the historical resources are critically examined and the past events are preserved in writing. So when the writing of the historical critically, when the writing is critically historical narrative is known as historiography.
Okay, very good. Now the next, a scholar who writes historical narrative is a dash. Very good, Ria. First answer I got from Ria. Very good, Kanishk, Manish, Manasvi, Aditya, Neeraj, Ipsita. Very nice, very nice. I'm getting answer. I want everyone should give answer. There are how many participants in the classroom? 59. So I want 59 answers. Okay. Okay, so a scholar who writes historical narrative is called as historian. Very good answers given by students. Okay, next. The tradition of writing historical narrative, that is historiography, was not prevalent in the dash society of the world. Very good students, very nice. Shreya, Shriya, Shruti, Riddhi, Manali, Ipshita, Diksha, Hiral. Very nice, beta, very nice, all of you. Very good, very good. It is ancient society. Okay. Now just tell me, it is not prevail. The modern type of historiography was not prevail in during the ancient time. So, how they are used to pass their stories to next generation? How did the ancient people pass their stories to the next generation? Very good. Shruti Agach is telling very nice. Om, Kanishk, Kanchan, very nice. Okay. Some students have raised their hands, so I want your answer to Achal. Achal, yes, beta. Speak up, beta. I allow you to unmute. Achal, are you there, beta? Okay, I think she is not able to unmute herself. Ipshita. Yes, beta, Ipshita, speak out, beta.
Yes, teacher. Teacher, as we know that in ancient period, in ancient societies of the world, modern type of historiography.
Wait, beta. Not in, during ancient time.
Yes. During ancient times, the modern type of historiography did not prevail. Therefore, it does not mean that the ancient societies did not want to pass the history, their culture to the new generation. They passed their historical sources with the help of doing cave paintings, storytelling, singing songs and ballads, etc. for this purpose. And they use such sources to pass on the history from generation to generation.
Okay, very good. Now I want Achal, Anna, you are able to unmute yourself, beta. Achal. Okay. Neeraj, unmute yourself, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the tradition of writing historical narrative, that is historiography, was not prevalent in the ancient societies of the world. Ancient people passed their stories with the means like cave painting, storytelling, singing songs, and ballads to the next generation by this way.
Very good. This answer was better than the previous one. Very good. Very nice, beta. Okay. So now I want to Yashasvi, unmute yourself, beta.
Yes, teacher.
Continue, beta.
Ancient people passes their story to the next generation by cave painting, storytelling, song, by singing song, etc.
Okay, but you have to add one more point. Why they use this? Because the modern historiography was not prevalent at that time, and that is why they use this traditional means to pass their stories to the next generation. Is that clear? All
Yes.
of you, so let us move to the next, that is modern historiography. What are the characteristics of modern historiography? Yes, Bhumi raised the hand first. Yes, Bhumi, answer beta, then I'll give chance to others too.
There are four main characteristics of modern historiography. First is it's a method is based on scientific principles and it begins with the formation of relevant questions. And these questions are anthropocentric. It means that these questions are about the deeds of the members of ancient human societies of a particular period. Third one is answer to these questions are supported by reliable evidence, and the fourth one is history presents a graph of mankind's journey with the help of past human deeds.
Okay, very good. Achal.
Yes, teacher. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Teacher, it is based on the scientific principle. It begins with the formation of relevant questions. These questions are anthropocentric. It means these questions are about the deeds of members of ancient human society of a particular period. Answer to this question are supported by reliable evidence. If there is no reliable evidence, it won't support. History present a graph of mankind's journey with the help of past human deeds. It
Very
is
nice.
said that modern historiography with the above characteristic has root in the Greek historian writing.
Very nice, beta. Very good answer. Diksha.
Thank you.
Why I'm getting again and again same students?
Yes, teacher.
Continue.
Teacher, as we know, there are mainly four main characteristics of the modern historiography. The first one is that its method is based on the scientific principles and it begins with the formation of the relevant questions. The second one is these questions are anthropocentric. It means that these questions are about the deeds of the people of ancient human societies of that particular time, of that particular period. History doesn't always suggest any interrelation between the divine and the human deeds. The third one is the answer to these questions are supported by the reliable evidence. The fourth one is history presents a graph of mankind's journey with the help of past human deeds.
Okay.
It is said that the modern historiography with above characteristic has its
Wait, beta. Now let us move to the next question.
Okay.
You have to tell only characteristics. This four you tell that is the characteristics. This much only you have to write in exam. If you're writing more than that, that is wrong. You do not write less than the points and more than the points. You have to write whatever has been asked. Okay? Otherwise, if you are going to write extra, so the examiner will thought that the child is not understood the thing properly. That is why he is writing or she is writing the unrelevant thing also. Okay. So next question. The root of modern historiography are. No, Om, no. No. Okay. Yes, I'm getting answers. Correct answers I'm getting. Om Karkara has given Bhumi, Hiral. Riya, just write the full answer. I want some more students to give answer, beta. Yes, I'm getting more answers. Yes. Do it fast. I want everyone should give very fast. Okay, Diksha, Prem. Okay. I'm getting more answers. So now I want to announce answer as I get a lot of answers. The root of modern historiography are in the ancient Greek historical writing. Very good. Very good, all of you, for your answers. History is originally a dash term. History is originally a dash term. Very good. Very nice, students. Yes, yes. I'm waiting for more students to give the answer, so I'll announce answer. Good, good. It is Greek term. Okay. Now you give a short information about Herodotus. I want students to raise your hands so I can allow them to unmute and answer the questions. Okay, Hiril, unmute yourself better.
Yes, teacher. Herodotus was the Greek historian of the 15th century and
Not 15th, 5th century
5th
BCE.
century, sorry, 5th century, and he wrote a book entitled The Histories.
Okay. Yes, Bhumi, unmute yourself better. Bhumi, okay.
Herodotus is the Greek historian. He was of the 5th century BCE, and he used it first for his book. He used this history for his book entitled with the Histories.
The Histories. The name of the book is The Histories.
The Histories, okay? Yes.
Okay. Now, can anyone tell me what do you mean by BCE? What this abbreviation BCE stands for? BCE means? Yes, very good, very good, very nice, students. It is before Christ era or before Common Era. Okay. Very good. So let us move to the next. Development of scientific perspective in Europe and historiography. Now, we have already discussed there are lots of thing has been done. Okay, so because of that, lots of development has been done by the Europe. Okay, so now after that, slowly and gradually, what the scholar thought, the possibility of studying the social and historical truth can be done by applying the scientific method. Okay. And so what happened? The philosophical discussions were focused more to understand the objectivity in history and historiography. So Europe had all the European universities were interested only in the philosophical discourses revolving around the divine phenomena. Philosophy, you know, I think that is, it is a theory why the thing is there and how the thing is there, whatever the things in the present in the environment. Okay, so they start studying history on the relation with philosophy. Okay, so in 1737 CE, that is Christian era or Common Era, the Göttingen University was founded in Germany. And this was the first time An independent department for history has been started, which will study about the history. Okay, is that clear? So now we are going to discuss about some important notable scholars who have given their lots of contribution in relation with historiography and research of history. First, we will discuss René Descartes. Okay, 1596 to 1650. This was the tenure of his life. So, the question which I want to ask you is, okay, what he does, he insisted that the reliability of historical document should be critically examined. Without this, it is not possible to understand the history properly. Okay, and this has a great impact on the scientific method of research. That is, never to accept anything for true till all grounds of doubts are excluded. What is it? Till all the things, all the perspective, all the aspects have not understood properly, you cannot accept the thing as a truth. So it is very important that critically you examine all the perspective of the thing. Okay, now I want you to tell me the book which consists the rules by the René Descartes. Very good answer I'm getting. That is discourse on method. Discourse on the method. Now, our next person we are going to discuss, Voltaire. Francois Marat. Okay. Voltaire's original name was? I want all of you to put in a chat box also, and I want to raise your name also to answer the question. Voltaire's original name was? Yay. Some students have written the proper spelling and some has done a mistakes. So for that, I have told you to write. And yes, there's a hyphen is given in the name. That is also important. Yes, Diksha, it is correct. Now I want someone to pronounce the name. Raise your hand. Yes. Just pronounce the name.
Francois Marie Arot.
No. Francois Marie Arot. Francois Marie Arot. Say beta Francois. Bhumi. Bhumi?
Yes,
hello. Francois Marie Arot. It is a French name. So you are not going to spell out all the letters. I want Bhumi to repeat. Francois Marie Arot.
Francois Marie Arot.
Yeah, Francois Marie Arot. Very good. Voltaire was the founder of Dash. Very good, very nice. I'm getting answer from Deepika, Siddesh, and Riya. Very nice, very nice. Arya, very good. Diksha, Hiril, yes, it is. Yes, and many other students. Thank you for your reply. It is modern historiography. Now, according to Voltaire, which are the important things in historiography? Now, I will tell you the name, and that student have to give the answer, because some students are only giving the answer. Chirag. Chirag, I allow you to unmute yourself. Beta, speak out. Chirag, are you there? I want some new hands to, yes, Dhammesh, give the answer, beta. I allow you to unmute yourself.
Teacher, am I audible?
Yes, beta, continue.
Teacher, according to Voltaire said that along with the objective of truth and chronology, historical events considering social traditions, trade, economy, agriculture, etc., was also equally important in historiography.
Very good. Okay, I want Shruti to unmute yourself and answer, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Along, ma'am, aspects like social, cultural, and traditions, trade, economy, agriculture.
Shruti, are you there, beta? I think she has some network issue. So we will go to the Yashasvi.
Yes, teacher. I am audible.
Yes, beta. Continue.
According to Voltaire, in historiography, the focus should not be only on objective truth or chronology of historical event, but prevalent social tradition, trade, economy, agriculture should be also considered an important part of it.
Okay. Diksha.
Yes, teacher.
Continue, beta, with your answer.
So, according to Voltaire, historical events which consider as social traditions, trade, economy, agriculture, etc., was also an equally important in the historiography, which gave rise to the thought that understanding all aspects of human life is important for history writing.
Yeah. This is the this is also one of the important point which you have to include. What is said that not only the objective truth and chronology of historical events are important, but what was the social tradition at that time, trade, economy, agriculture, that is also important. And because of this thought, a new understanding has been come into existence, that history is not only the study of the chronology order of the historical event, but it something which deals with the study the all aspects of human life. Okay, so let us move to the next question with the next scholar. George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, 1770 to 1831. Okay. Hegel was a dash philosopher. Very good, very nice. He was a German philosopher. I want everyone to put a clap for everyone, all of you, those who are giving the answer. Okay. Yes, very good. Only Hiral has clap for others. Those who are giving. What about others? Yes, yes, very good, very good. Next, he insisted that the historical reality should be presented in a dash manner. Very good, Dhamesh. Dhamesh has given the first answer. It is logical. Very good. To him, timeline of historical event was indicative of progress. Okay. Yes, it is progress. Now the next question. What was Hegel's philosophy? What was Hegel's philosophy? Okay, Arya, unmute yourself, beta.
Teacher, according to Hegel, grasping the meaning of any event happened in terms of two opposites. Human mind couldn't understand a true nature of an event without understanding both the opposites. So, in order to understand the true nature, one needs to know both true, false, as well as good, bad. So both the opposites. The method of analysis, which was based on opposite, given by Hegel, was called as dialectics.
Okay. Anybody else want to give the answer? Okay. So, in short, what was the philosophy of Hegel? That whatever the thing, if you want to reach to the truth of a particular thing, so it is very important that we should study both the thing, because a particular thing has two aspects, good aspects as well as bad aspects. If we only consider the good aspects, so we cannot understand what is good. Okay, if you want to know what is good actually belongs to that period, so we have to go through the bad thing also. Then only we can examine properly the good and the bad. So it is very important that we should go through all the aspects. That is a good aspect, we should study, we should examine the good aspect of the thing also and the bad aspect of the thing also. And so many of the scholars were convinced by this method. Okay, this and they said that the Hegel's philosophy is something which is we cannot say it is poor, or it is not good, even though it is different from the scientific research, but still it talks and it will give some important information about that particular thing. Okay, now his book is well known as Reasoning History. Okay, and all his lectures and collections of the articles, okay, collection of his lectures and articles entitled in a book called as Encyclopedia of Philosophical Science. Here we can get all the information regarding him. Okay, so